folks, Brian Rushing here with www.abbeyathletics.com for another OrthoCarolina Medical Minute, here with the head athletic trainer here at Belmont Abbey College, Adam Smith. Adam, one of the things that I wanted to talk about this time around was the sport of lacrosse. It's a sport that's growing regionally in this area, certainly with the Charlotte Hounds now playing in nearby Charlotte, North Carolina. This is a sport that's taken on not just a higher profile at the professional level, but also at the college level. However, at the college level, it looks and feels like two very different sports with the men versus the women. Kind of give us an idea of not just the way the rules might be different, but from your standpoint as far as the physicality and the toil that it takes on a female athlete and a male athlete.
Sure, so there's obvious differences in the rules, and I'm not as familiar with all those as I probably should be, but from an athletic training standpoint, the biggest difference is that the men have the helmets and the shoulder pads and the equipment that the women don't necessarily have. They just have the cages over to protect their eyes. That introduces a level of contact in the men's game that we don't see in the women's game, and with it, certain injuries are more susceptible in the men's game than the women's.
Now, I would imagine with the fast pace of play, when you have that contact, it's going to be almost of a near collision type variety. With that said, what does that give you an idea to look out for in regards to the type of injuries that the men get specifically?
Sure. So we look at a lot of bruises. We see a lot of broken bones from the checks and from the stick checks and things of that nature, and obviously the body checking that they do. And then more importantly, we have to be aware of head and neck injuries like you would with football. Sure. The helmets kind of give people a sense of comfort with using their head to hit people with. So we stress proper head position when using the body to check people. And then we have to be aware of the possibility of having increased concussions and potential for neck injuries as well.
I would imagine on the women's side, with there being less physical contact one player versus another, that a lot of what you would get from their standpoint is just the running and the toil that it takes on the body from essentially playing a sport that on the women's side looks very similar to soccer as how they go up and down the field in their fashion.
Yeah, we do see a pretty similar injury profile in lacrosse as to soccer. A lot of ankle sprains, shoulder sprains. So we do see there is a fair amount of checking with the sticks in lacrosse, but certainly not of the slashing variety that the men would see. So a lot of knee injuries. You have ACL tears are relatively common in lacrosse, and then just overuse, ankle and lower body injuries.
For parents that see lacrosse and think to themselves, this seems to be something that maybe my kid would be interested in, what are some of the things you would advise parents into doing that might offer some guidance for them to be sure of what pitfalls to look for when it comes to their kid partaking in lacrosse?
Just generally being in good condition like you would for soccer or basketball or any other sport. Certainly having the technique to play with the stick and the ball and doing the throwing and catching is important. So a lot of practice with that, and then just to be aware of how your kid's feeling when you're playing, and if there's any problems, you go get them checked out.
Folks, for all this and more, please check on to www.abbeyathletics.com. For the OrthoCarolina Medical Minute, for Adam Smith, this is Brian Rushing.